We're just gonna hop straight into the video, no intro, let's get into it. So this wig is from Asteria Hair and it's in the color chocolate brown and it is their Invisible Lace HD in 13x4. I got the cap size small and it is 250 density. Y'all are gonna kind of see me install this wig twice in this video. The first time around I was rushing and I hated the way it came out, but the second time around I am a natural brown. Can't nobody tell me nothing. Before I installed this hair, I did go ahead and bleach the knots. Honestly, when I look back, I don't really think it's necessary because I went in to tint the lace with the lace tinting spray, but I bleached the knots. I'll put all the products I use to bleach the knots and I'll also put the reference video that I used. As far as plugging the wig, I watched a very simple Instagram video that I will also link below. And I didn't do too much plucking, I just plucked the left and right side. As far as products I use, I know eBay is canceled. I do not glue in my wigs often, so I'm literally using the same products I've used since the very first wig install that I've done. It is the Eben Wonder Lace Bond in the Extreme Firm Hold. If anything, this just shows you that you can get away with using an inexpensive product, so just go ahead and switch it out with anything else you'd want to if you do not want to use Eben. I went in with 2 layers of the glue. So for the first round, I just went around the whole perimeter of my head and I let that dry for a little bit. I didn't let it go all the way clear, but almost clear. And then I went in with the second layer. Y'all, don't mind me talking to myself. When I was watching this video back, I realized how much I talked to myself, and it's so hilarious to see. And the quality, I don't know how I left my camera in New York, but I was in New York for Christmas to see family. So that's another thing. The second half of the video, you're going to see a better quality because I was using my camera. So to get back into this hair, like I told you, struggling in the beginning, and what I wanted to do was after I put the glue on, just go ahead and plop the wig on. But I completely forgot about how important it is to glue it down in sections when it comes to working with a full lace front, as y'all can see with the rippling that ended up happening. So I went back and added slits so that I can glue it down in sections, and that made it 10 times easier. So when I was done gluing everything down, I went ahead and combed the hair back and then put the wig band on, and then you're gonna see me use a razor to cut the excess lace off. I think for the most part, everything you're gonna see for the next couple minutes are pretty much self-explanatory, so let's go ahead and chat a little bit. So we are now in 2025. I literally can't believe it. But one thing I'm gonna say, when they talk about that frontal lobe developing when you're getting up to the age of 25, believe it. The way that everything is starting to make sense, like, I understand it now. I understand it now. But to backtrack and talk about 2024, I don't really think I closed out 2024 with you all. I really didn't close it out on any platforms just because the end of 2024 was rough. 2024 taught me so much. That was my first year being out of college. I keep telling everyone the same thing, but I feel like 2024 packed up a good 3 years in 1 year. The amount of things that I've done, the amount of things that I saw, the amount of experiences I lived, a good 3 years in 1 year. And I'm not even really mad at it. I think I'll do a separate video about my college experience one day, but my college experience was very interesting, and in a way, I don't think I found a good way to balance things and being able to enjoy my social life at the same time. While being out of school, I didn't have the added stress of meeting a deadline or just having such a huge workload and things to complete. So your girl had a good time. I lived life. I had a bunch of experiences and I learned a lot about myself and my interests. And I traveled, Nigeria, Jamaica, Houston. Your girl was outside, and that was just something that I did not experience while I was in college. Like, I never did a Miami spring break. It just never happened. To get back into this hair, I went ahead and pulled out the hair that I'll be using for my edges, but I did go in with a wax stick just to lay everything down. In the second install, I did not use as much wax, and I would highly recommend not using that much wax so your hair does not end up being stiff. The first time around, I went in with shears to cut the baby hairs or my edges. The second time around, I went in with a razor. I'd recommend using the razor. The shears kind of make it look a little bit too perfect, while the razor ends up giving it like a natural kind of look. Even the way I curled the hair was wrong, and I've been always wondering what I'm doing wrong when it comes to doing the baby hairs when it comes to wigs, but I never knew that I've been curling it up when they should be getting curled down. And it's such a small thing to consider, but it makes a huge difference. The only reason why I want to add this part in is because I want y'all to see me redeem myself, because this install gave, okay, it's cute, but the way the install ended, child, just let me cook, just wait for it. Trust the process. I also decided to curl the hair the first time around, so I wanted y'all to see the different looks. Me personally, I really liked the straight bust down side part look, but the curls were cute too, and it just gives another option. And the other thing that I really did not like that I did was how I laid these edges, baby hairs. The second time around was way better, but I don't know what I was doing, what I was looking at, what was the inspo, but I did not like this at all. And because I was on a time crunch, I only did the right side where the part was, and I didn't do the left side of my edges, but the second half you're going to see me do the whole perimeter. But like I was telling y'all, the end of 2024 was rough for me, and I was filming this video literally the last day of 2024, and y'all can just see the stress, the worry, the panic all over my face. And I can reassure you guys, that is not what we're doing this year at all. I'm making it a huge effort to prioritize my health and my wellness this year. Even though last year was pretty successful for me and I got a lot of things done, I was able to accomplish a lot, I did not prioritize my well-being, and it showed. If you're anything like me and you have a bad habit of adding so much on your plate and actually believing that you're going to get it all done, but when it comes down to it, you're only human, you only have but so many hours in your day-to-day, then you understand exactly what I'm talking about, and together we're going to work on it and stop being a crash out. But before I get into that, y'all can clearly see the quality change. That Canon G7X Mark II is going to do it every time. But let me know if y'all liked how the curls looked and how the first install looked. I don't think it looked terrible, but the way that the second install looked was way better to me, and I'm literally starting off doing the same exact thing that I did the first install. What we're really going to change is how we did the edges, but I also went in and flat-ironed the hair section by section, which I didn't have the time to do the first time, but the difference is night and day. Another thing that I didn't mention is that I did cut this hair. This hair was originally 24 inches, but I did do a blunt cut. I recorded it the first install, but because I was using my back camera and I couldn't see myself, it didn't show in the video. As y'all can see, I went ahead and did the left side when it comes to pulling out the hair and cutting it with the razor. It makes a complete difference. I was telling my sister, I love a frontal look way better than any closure. The only thing I hate about frontals is the maintenance and not being able to take the wig off at night. But aesthetic wise, frontals look way better. Like, it looks like it's growing out of the scalp. I feel like I'm actually wearing the wig as opposed to the wig wearing me, which I often feel like whenever I'm wearing a closure. Like, I just don't like the way a closure looks on my face. Now, to get into the edges part, which I mentioned, I curled the hair downwards this time instead of curling it up, and I also went in and curled smaller sections, and it just made a huge difference in the end look of this hairstyle. So while I'm getting this done, let's go back to our conversation and how we're going to talk about making 2025 a fulfilling year, but at the same time not a crash out year. Another issue that I often run into is having random bursts of energy and then burning out. And I understand that as a woman, a lot of that deals with our cycle and going through different phases of our menstrual cycle, which is why we can have very high highs, some low lows. But at the same time, I feel like mine can be a lot more rough, and I know part of it is due to me not having the structure that I need and I want on a regular basis. One of the bigger goals for me this year and just a long term is to slow down. I don't understand why there's this constant race in my head. There's just this constant race in my head, and it's really me competing against me. But it's just to slow down, establishing and sticking to realistic goals, and realizing slow and steady wins the race. I had to take a step back and realize how much I put other people's needs and happiness before my own, and also realize that in my eyes, I kind of saw that as me protecting myself, because if there wasn't any conflict, if there weren't any issues going on, if I keep the peace, that I'm doing a benefit for myself, but then I realized that it was actually a detriment to myself because I'm not voicing what my needs are and they weren't getting met. Quick intermission, I'm using the Nairobi foaming mousse, and one thing I would say, the type of mousse that you use when you're laying down your wigs really does matter, and this mousse really works well if you're looking for a good one. But as I was saying, it really is a hard thing to come to terms with, because you're realizing how much you want to show up for other people, but you cannot, because you're not even putting enough work to show up for yourself. And it's crucial to meet the needs for yourself first before you can show up for others. You cannot pour out of an empty glass. But as much as it is therapeutic to talk about your feelings and the way things make you feel and just process things, it is 10 times important to work on the actionable steps, from getting you to recognizing and being self-aware of your feelings to actually making progress to get you where you need to be. Pause. Let's get into the hair. Like, baby, this is what I meant by this is the difference. It looks so much better. And you know who it actually reminds me of, how they do their hair? Sophiology. Like, it's eaten down. Once I was finished, I just went in with some wrapping paper, and I'm gonna go ahead and use the combing razor to just add a little bit of dimension. When I cut it bluntly, it looked cute and all, but you know how you can cut something too bluntly and it's kind of giving stiff? So I just went in and added a little bit of layering to get rid of the bulkiness of the hair. And once I was finished with that, I just grabbed my Babyliss flat iron to go ahead and bump the ends and just make the hair as straight as possible. Back to what we were talking about, actionable steps towards having a fulfilling year and avoiding the crash out. So these are things that I've been personally implementing. I know that what I do will not work for everyone, so you can take this advice with a grain of salt. Take all advice with a grain of salt, but these are things that I've been doing, I've been considering to make me feel more at ease and avoid the anxiety. The first thing I considered was identifying my basic needs. And when I say basic needs, I mean your basic needs to survive, as in sleeping and eating. My sleep routine has been in shambles for as long as I can remember. I've never been able to have good sleep and feel well rested. So on this journey, that was the first thing I wanted to tackle. So it came to making sure I'm in bed at a certain time every day and having that consistency every day. Next was the diet. And this is not even on aesthetics, look-wise type of thing. This is on a what you put in your body is how your body is going to perform and how your body is going to act. And for me, meal prepping is the easiest way, and planning out my meals ahead of time is the easiest way for me to have peace of mind with what I'm going to eat, avoid me doing the last minute eating out and picking the quick and easy, not so healthy options. So we got down sleeping, we got down diet. Next is learning time management skills. You only have but so much time in your day, and you need to learn how to use that time most effectively for you to meet your goals. And the biggest struggle I face in this area is being realistic with the amount of time I have to complete a task and how much time will actually go into completing a task. So baby, that timer has been my best friend in keeping track of what I'm getting done, how much I'm able to accomplish, what I'm able to achieve within a day, and using that as a reference to schedule out the rest of my days. What has been my saving grace is practicing patience and understanding things take time, and avoiding the procrastination by all means necessary. Prioritizing yourself and your well-being means not continuing to work on ease and being okay with not completing 100 tasks in one day, but taking 25 days to complete 4 tasks each day to avoid the burnout. So to that, I say I'm claiming a peaceful, calm, and chill 2025. Like, I am not pressed to do too much. I've had my fun, and I'm okay with locking in this year so I can accomplish the goals I need to accomplish, and just finding ways to regulate my nervous system and building a strong foundation. And the last thing I'm gonna end it on is that our parents were right, and it really is that damn phone. I'm so curious to see the studies that will eventually come out to show us the impact of these phones and how much they affect our mental well-being. Because baby, I know the constant dopamine hit is doing numbers on us, and we don't even know. So girl, put the phone down, go read a book, go hang out with your friends, go experience real life, because I promise you it's gonna make you feel 10 times better. Now to finish off this hair, just going in with the hot comb to really make it as flat as it can be. While I did pluck the part, you're going to see me go in with some concealer to go over the part again. I just think because the hair is brown and it blends in a little bit too much with my skin that I just needed to emphasize the part a little bit more. And I'm also going to go in with the Chi hairspray to tame all of those flyaways. I'm not gonna lie, this hair was not my favorite out of the hair that I've received. I was not a big fan of the hair that was in the frontal portion. I think the hair was a bit dry, and I also think the ends of the hair was a bit dry. Besides me cutting it to make it more blunt because that was the style that I was going for, if you bought the hair straight out and you wanted to wear it in its longer length, I really did not like how the ends looked. Maybe it was because the hair was dyed, but at the same time, the quality of this hair wasn't as good as I expected it to be. But for this to be the second install, well, I guess technically third install because I installed this twice, but for this to be my second full frontal wig install, I'm gonna go ahead and pat myself on the back because girl, I loved it. I really did like it. I think the end look is perfect. It fits my face so well. I really haven't done a side part on a wig yet, so chef's kiss. And the color, I haven't done a colored wig yet, but I love the brown. Y'all know that me and brown are like this, but it just came together so well and I really do love it. Let me know how y'all feel about it in the comments, and if anything I said in the video really resonated with you, please let me know. Let's have a conversation, let's chat. I've been doing a little better when it comes to replying to comments, and I really do enjoy talking to you all. I want to develop a strong community, so always feel free to comment any suggestions or anything y'all would like me to speak about, and I got y'all. The end of this video is really just me feeling myself, so enjoy the b-roll. Make sure y'all follow me on all my other social media platforms to see more of my face. Bye. But I could never right my wrongs unless I write it down for real.